Wow, so roaches out again. Been on the missing list, apologies for that. I'm here for the next 24 hours, so I've got plenty of time to kind of fill you in on Roach's adventures. Back on the Chilterns, that beautiful picture of the sunset is what I'm enjoying. Got some company. It's not Lone Wolf for a change. It just got to a stage where I couldn't afford his repeat fees. You know, I mean, every time I made a video he was in it, you know. He's away on a course for a few weeks, and I'm sure he'll fill you in on that when he turns up. So this is me, 24 hours on the Chilterns with a new mate. You might want to tag along. Setup's the same, so kitchen's on the side of the truck. Because I haven't got the rooftop tent, I've had to kind of just kind of rig something up for tonight really. But got the Peak dual fuel stove, got a few beers in, brew kit, a Lifesaver jerry can, and that's about it really. Tonight I'm going to be cooking a sort of savoury sausage with rice, something like that, you know, and I've got Old Faithful as pudding. We've got a fire pit, so the idea is that we kind of light the fire, maybe knock up some sort of stew or whatever, put it on the fire, and like blokes do, sort of sit round, talk shit until the food's ready, have a few beers. Mate, this is the antidote to a busy, stressful life. So, you know, my two penny, if you can get out, if you can get away from it all, so, you know, no wives, no girlfriends, no mortgages, no kids, no lovers, whatever you're into, 24 hours on your own in the middle of nowhere, life doesn't get simpler. So if you can't do it yourself, you can share mine. Come with me. Okay, so these are my favourite sausages. They're not a lot of money, but I really like them. We're going to have sausages. I'm going to fry these off in the pan, just sort of brown them off. Then I'm going to put them in some sweet chilli. Got a few other bits and pieces, but we'll go on a bed of rice, and that's pretty much going to be dinner. I sort of got some Spanish onions, a few carrots and a few tomatoes. Thought I'd bosh them in there as well, just to kind of pack it out. But this is just bits and pieces I've grabbed from my local supermarket. Pretty much threw them on the back seat, and here I am. So this is a cheeky 24 hours away. Right, just going to brown those off, and right, so Spanish onion. I quite like red onions, but in truth, I literally, like I say, just dived in the old local grocery store, and I couldn't see any. So Spanish onions for a change. But they will fry down. All I've done is sort of zip the onion in half, just taking the sort of the outer layer off of the onion, and then, as you can see, just sort of zip them down. This is the way to cut an onion. So you cut an onion in half so that you've got the veins going that way, and that's the easiest way to cut an onion. You could dice it down if you wanted into kind of little cubes, but I think that's going to do us company. Right, so all I'm doing with the sausages then, just roughly fried them in the garlic paste and the onion and the tomato. All I'm doing now is just sort of chopping them up into bite-sized pieces. Two of us, great big strapping lads, and I've done 6 sausages. In that particular pack of sausages I've got, that means we've got 4 left for breakfast. So I'm going to put those in, a little bit more in the frying pan, and then in goes the chilli sauce. Okay, so I've just thrown in, I've literally just cut up a couple of tomatoes, and the onion that you just saw me cut, I just literally boshed in on the top, so that's all going to do a bit. I put a little bit of garlic paste in there as well, just to give it a bit of a zing, but we're getting there. Okay, so sausages I've cut up, onion, tomato, and I'm putting in some sweet chilli and pepper cooking sauce. I mean, okay guys, I am cheating, and I have made this for myself in the past, but this is a cheeky 24 hours away, and frankly I just didn't have the time. But this is my favourite sauce, so that's going to go in there. I'm going to mix it all up, it'll all simmer down, and the next thing to bang on is going to be some rice. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be a great dinner in the field. Okay, yet again, Old Faithful comes straight out of the fridge. Always have maybe 7 days worth of sort of microwave meals, packet meals, call it what you will, in the fridge in the back of the truck. This is obviously savoury chicken. We've got sausage. I think this will be fine. I was going to do it separately. I've decided to just bosh it in.
stir it up. I think that's going to be lovely.
So this is what you really do call noisy neighbours. I wonder what time this lot are going to go to sleep.
Okay, going to light our little fire pit. So I've chopped some wood up earlier, but really just kind of processed the bigger stuff that I bought a couple of bags of it on the way. This particular campsite will sell you a fire pit. They didn't have any wood in because this is beginning of the season, so I bought a little bit of my own. But what we're going to do is spark it up in the normal kind of you know, bushcrafty way, really. I've got my little fire kit, so just get some of this out. What I'm going to do is make a bed just like we would if we were sort of in the field. You know, here is my lint that I get out of my dryer. All I do is put a little bit of Vaseline in it and kind of mix it up. I make a big bag of this stuff once in a blue moon, and stick it in my kind of bushcraft cupboard, and that's it really. The other thing that I love to carry is a kind of little bit of old inner tube. You know, so again, this is just a bicycle inner tube, but it's a brilliant, absolutely brilliant fire lighter. And all you've got to do is literally kind of zip it down, and when you put it on a fire, it will last an absolute age. You know, almost any kind of thin rubber would do. You know, but the other thing is, of course, even if this was soaking wet, you know, it would just take a flame, no problems at all. So that's the basis of our fire. Next thing, I've just cut up some slightly smaller bits of wood. These were all the kind of chippings that fell off when I was processing the bigger bits, and I'm going to put those on there. Little bits are all going to catch, and then so the basic sort of lighting your fire trick, you know, you should really start off with pieces of wood as big as the lead in a pencil, then as big as the pencil, then as big as your finger, and just kind of keep building it up until you've got a kind of viable fire. But that should catch, no problems at all. We'll get our fire going. Next thing you know, we'll be cracking open a beer, and hopefully dinner won't be too far away. But that's going to be us. We'll be ready to sort of sit around the fire and put the world to rights. One fire, ladies and gentlemen, sorted. Okay, so that's our viable fire. I'm always amazed by people that can't light a viable fire. By that I mean a fire that doesn't go out, a fire that will regulate your body temperature, purify your water, cook your food. You know, if you don't know anything about bushcraft or survival, the one thing you should put 5 minutes of energy into is 3 different ways to light fire. Time for the reveal. Wow, it doesn't look too bad, does it? Everything's kind of cooked down a treat. I think that's kind of ready. Presentation being everything, not the most attractive thing I've ever cooked, but I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be lovely. Let's get it on a plate. Right, my guest is ready for some scoff, I think. As always, there'll be a little bit there. Right, let's see if we can give you the verdict of our lovely dinner. Okay, well that didn't turn out too bad. Kettle's on for later, so we've got some hot water for you know, a cup of tea, some gunfire, so tea or coffee with a little bit of spirit in it. Tell you about that later. Beautiful scoff, fire's going, great company. Got the Chilterns to myself. Don't get any better than that, people. Oh, do you know what? I think that might do. Okay, so of course this is not a loaf of bread that Roach has baked, but apologies to my guest. I got so engrossed in getting the food on the plate and eating it while it was hot that I forgot. I bought some lovely bread. And butter. Oh, there we go. I know, there's a few calories in that, but that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to finish off dinner. The other thing that a nice bit of bread does, of course, cuts down on the washing up. Yum. Okay, we're going to dish up a bit of this pudding. So I've lined the bottom of the tin with sort of Swiss roll and chopped bananas and custard. That's kind of man size. Dash of double cream. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is roughing it in the field.
Well, this is the end of the evening. We've had our meal and a nice little bit of pudding. We've had a pint of beer. We've sat by the campfire and put the world to rights. It's been really good to get out for a sort of 24 hours. So the plan really is to sort of crash out tonight. In the morning we're going to get up, do a bit of breakfast, and then it'll be a kind of move out. So it's really only been 24 hours on the Chilterns. But just what the doctor ordered, a little bit of natural de-stress, if you like, and just going to make the last kind of cup of tea of the day and then head off to bed. So see you in the morning.
Wow, morning everybody. My military sleep system was just brilliant. Never felt cold at all last night. Your breath kind of collects inside the kind of in the bivy bag, so the kind of little cover above your head collects the moisture in your breath. But apart from that, absolutely brilliant. It's full of kind of baffles that are kind of designed to retain the heat even more. So there's a piece that covers the zipper. And during the night, you know, I kind of rolled over and I had this little sort of cold spot, and I sort of reached inside the bag, and there was this big sort of insulated baffle, and I sort of pulled it down over the zip, and suddenly the bag was much warmer, you know. But didn't rain, you know. I literally just put my camp bed by the side of the truck, got in my military sleep system, zipped the bivvy bag up, and that's where I kind of stayed. But another gorgeous morning on the Chilterns, almost 8:15 in the morning, so time to seize the day, get the kettle on. Let's quickly talk you through the military sleep system. So Gore-Tex bag on the outer, and 2 sleeping bags. So one you could sort of say is a 2-season, the other's a 2-season. What they do is they kind of clip together with these clips, all the bags clip together. But literally a bag in a bag. Even remember to bring me old pillow. Everything stores in the hood, and it's got this lovely sort of Gore-Tex outer that you just sort of folds over your head, to be quite honest, but there's still enough airflow inside it not to make you feel sort of claustrophobic. If I've got a criticism of this system, it's that you know, you've got a zip for each sleeping bag and a zip for the outer, so getting yourself in and kind of zipped up in the dark is a little bit of a palaver, but once you're in it, it is absolutely peachy. So that's my first night in the military sleep system. I have to turn around and say it was quite a pleasant one. So this is where Roach has woken up. This is my favourite spot on the Chilterns. Not a bad place to wake up, is it? Morning, mate. Nice cup of tea. Lovely.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, best I could do with limited resources, you know, full English in the middle of nowhere. That's a Sunday morning breakfast, everybody. Enjoy. Okay, this is why roach has been on the missing list, really. So, a few months ago, I decided that I was going to return to work. So our little arrangement was that my wife was the breadwinner and I was the bread baker. We've got 2 young children. Girls are now back at school and I've returned to work. So, first thing I had to do really was decide what I was going to do, and I had an opportunity to move into the security sector, and I did that for a very simple reason. The reason is that I think it's a kind of boom industry, and my assumption really is based on observations nationally. So every time I switch on the telly I see pieces on the police services nationally doing less, you know, so their budgets are getting tighter and tighter and tighter. The government, the nation's priority is sort of counter-terrorism and cybercrime. So the regular guy on the street is getting a worse police service nationally, and that's my interpretation of events. So I see the security industry as a kind of a boom industry, and I've worked in it previously. When I first came out of the army, I spent 18 months working for the Ford Motor Company on their security department, so I have an insight to it. I've also worked in kind of close protection over the years and looked after a few people, and decided that this was what I was going to do. So next thing I had to do was I had to get some qualifications, you know, so I went off and I've done all sorts of courses which have taken probably 3 months, something like that, and I have been fortunate enough to find myself a contact, and I'm now working in the security industry and loving it. You know, I love the routine. I love the sort of get up, get out, have purpose, and it's done me as an individual no end of good. So all the people that were wondering where Roach is and why he's here, there and everywhere, that's the gig. There are 2 things really, you know, security and close protection do not suit social media, you know, so if I'm going to work in this industry I've got to be very careful what I put on social media, because my potential employers will be uneasy about it, you know, so so that's it. I'll be posting things a few days after I've been places and done things, just, you know, kind of photos and pictures and things of interest. But really that's what I'm up to. My priority now is kind of getting back to work, earning a few quid and looking after the family, so that's what I'm about. Well, okay, so that's me on the Chilterns, 24 hours away. Sorry it's not the most exciting thing you're ever going to watch, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, you know. Nothing like being able to walk away from 21st century lifestyle, have a little bit of time alone, live simply, and for me it kind of fortifies me against the world. So this is where I say please thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, and if you're watching on Facebook please follow. As always, any comments, love to hear them.